Hi everyone, welcome to this video where I am going to give you my top 5 tips for helping you save money on your skincare or not waste your money on the skincare that you're already buying. So these tips are going to help you maximize the skincare that you already have in your collection and help you avoid some pitfalls that many of us fall into that then end up making it so that we are kind of wasting our money on certain skincare products or even just the skincare that we already have. So if this is something that interests you, then make sure you keep watching, subscribe to the channel by hitting that red subscribe button, and follow Allura Beauty on Instagram to be eligible for any giveaways. If you haven't checked out my latest skincare video before this one, it was a full brand review of the skincare brand Versed Skincare that is exclusively available at Target. It is fairly affordable. There are dozens of items in the line. Some of them are fantastic. Some of them I wouldn't spend your money on. So if you want the complete rundown of the worst in the line to the best, then I will link that in the upper right hand corner for you to go check out and see what you want out of the lineup. And for those who'd like to know, I am wearing on my lips one of e.l.f.'s new satin lipsticks, or seriously satin lipsticks. This one is in the shade Taffy. If you want to see swatches of all of the shades in this line from e.l.f., I'll link that in the upper right hand corner for you to check out. And on my cheekbones there, the highlighter that I'm wearing is a new one from Becca. This is one of their Ignite liquid highlighters, and the shade of this is Passion. If you want to see swatches of this, go over to the Instagram account. This is absolutely stunning. The one thing that I don't like about it is that it has a pretty distinct fragrance that's been added, but other than that, visually, this is absolutely phenomenal. The main reason that I was thinking of doing this video is because I know a lot of us, especially during this time, may have certain financial constraints. It may be more important now compared to other times for us to maximize what we already have in our collection, or to make sure that if we do spend our money on certain skincare, that we are getting the absolute most out of that and not wasting any of our money. So that's really what kind of inspired my top tips for this. And so let's go ahead and just jump into it. Now, these aren't in any particular order, but the first suggestion that I have is to literally cut open your packaging, your skincare packaging, in order to physically get the most product out of the tube or whatever it is that your skincare is housed in. Now, of course, there are some things that are in packaging that you can't cut open, but a lot of skincare is in packaging that looks like this. And if you've ever watched any of my empties videos, you will see that a lot of my skincare products that I've used up are cut open like this. I'll link an example for you in the upper right hand corner if that's something that interests you. It's not just skincare, it also includes hair care and makeup. But a lot of people ask me about this, and what I do is first, I will do my best to get the product out of the packaging before I cut it open. So for example, I will make a ruckus and bang the tube on the table to try to get the product to come down into the bottom of the packaging, and so that I can squeeze it out. And I will do that until it just doesn't really work anymore. The reason that I do that before I cut it open is because once you do cut the packaging open, it exposes the product inside to a lot of air or to more sunlight. And when that happens, it does speed up the degradation of the ingredients inside. And there are some ingredients that really need to be kept away from light and from the air in order to preserve the active ingredients. Not always, but a lot of the time, including with sunscreen, which this is an example of. So you don't want to cut open the product or the packaging until you really need to. On the other hand, when you do cut open the packaging, I get anywhere from usually a minimum of 2 or 3 more uses, all the way up to sometimes 5, 6, 7 more uses of the product. So if you can get another, let's say, week's worth out of a product, that's worth it. And that's not a lot of time during which to have the product exposed to sunlight and degrading those ingredients. Some of that will happen inevitably, but you don't want to be cutting this open and then leaving it exposed like that for 3 weeks. That's not a good idea long run for the effectiveness of the ingredients inside. So as you can see, I'll start at the top to get the product out of this top portion, and I'll try to reach in as far as possible. And once I can't do that anymore, then I'll make another cut and expose whatever's at the bottom and clean that out too. And after I cut it open, I put it into a Ziploc bag and I try to squeeze the air out of it. And I keep that, not exposed to sunlight so that I can help minimize the effect of those ingredients becoming degraded from exposure to the air and light. Tip number 2 is to stop using cotton rounds to apply your toner or any sort of a liquid skincare product onto your skin. I used to be a user of cotton rounds all the time. That's how I applied my toner. In the last year, I began to simply dispense my toner onto my hand and pat it into my skin or my neck, wherever it is I want to apply that product. So that allows you to not only be more environmentally friendly, because you're not throwing away all of those cotton rounds. You of course could buy reusable ones that you can wash and reuse multiple times, but in addition to it being more environmentally friendly to not use cotton rounds, the other reason to not use cotton rounds, even reusable ones, is that you are literally wasting a lot of that product because the cotton round absorbs the liquid. And despite you being able to transfer some of that liquid onto your skin, a lot of it is staying in that cotton round that you throw away, or that you then put into the wash to wash out. So you're not getting the advantage of using that product to the fullest extent. If you put it on your hands, then you're transferring a lot more of that product onto your skin. And even though the transferring isn't 100%, the worst that's gonna happen is that you get some of that product onto your skin on your hands. So it's a much more efficient way to maximize your liquid skincare products. Now, of course, the exception is something like a micellar water, or if you have a liquid makeup remover, then for that, you may want to use a cotton round or some sort of washcloth, because you're also using the mechanical movement and the physical abrasion or pressure of that item to get rid of and press in the product into the skin, but that's a whole different category of things. So I'm mainly talking about things like toners, things you want to stay on and absorb into the skin. Tip number 3 is to apply your skincare right after you get out of the shower. So when you're in the shower, you have the steam and you have the heat, which helps to open up the pores, and the moisture on the skin allows your skin to then absorb much more effectively anything that you put on top of the skin. So if you have a toner that you really like, you may want to keep one of them in your medicine cabinet in your bathroom, so that once you step out of the shower, don't pat off the water from your face or even your skin right away. If you let your skin stay damp and you apply your skincare on top, that's going to absorb actually much more effectively into the skin. And the same thing for something like body lotion. If you keep that in your bathroom, then you can apply your lotion all over your body once it's still really damp, instead of towel drying off completely and then applying your skincare. Now, a word of caution for this: I wouldn't do this for skincare ingredients that are super potent. So for example, you don't want to use that method for something like an alpha hydroxy acid or glycolic acid. You probably don't want to use this method for something like a retin-aid or retinol, because those ingredients are a little more potent. They can be more sensitizing on the skin. You probably do want to wait until after you've dried off and then apply the rest of the skincare. So this tip really applies to things like body lotions and more kind of lightweight, more gentle skincare steps like your toner. Tip number 3 is you have to wear sunscreen. You are letting your money go down the drain if you are spending lots and lots of your hard-earned money on skincare to combat wrinkles or dark pigmentation or make your skin look brighter and more youthful, but then stepping out into the sun and exposing it to UVA radiation. Sunlight is the number one thing that ages your skin. So you could do all of this work in the daytime or in the nighttime with all of these active ingredients to try to combat the signs of aging. But if you aren't taking the preventative step to protect the skin from the thing that ages it the most, then all of that effort, work, and money is for nothing. You may as well just not spend your money on skincare and go about your life. You need to wear sunscreen in order to protect the progress that you make in terms of whatever skincare you're doing and to prevent the further aging and damage to the skin. Some of my favorites, my number one favorite probably is from Paula's Choice. This is the SPF 30 from the Resist line. I also love the SPF 51 from the Resist line. Also comes in a blue, darker blue bottle. The SPF 31 has a tint to it like this. The SPF 51 does not have a tint to it, but both of them work beautifully on the skin. For bump up in SPF, my favorite is from Supergoop. This is the 100 Mineral Matte Sunscreen. This also has a tint to it and a dimethicone feel to it. So if you don't like that more matte, slick feel, this is probably not a good option for you. But something that I've been loving and using lately is from Purito. This is a Korean skincare brand and also a bump up in SPF. This is SPF 50, PA++++. This is the Comfy Water Sunblock. Super lightweight, thin, doesn't leave a white cast, feels wonderful on the skin. I will try to link those top recommendations in the description box below. If you could literally only purchase one type of skincare product, I would suggest that you purchase a sunscreen or a moisturizer with sun protection in it, which is what these are. Did I say that that was tip number 3? That was tip number 4, which was to wear sunscreen. So far we have cut open your products, stop using cotton rounds, apply some of your toners right out of the shower, and wear sunscreen. And the 5th and last top tip that I have for making the most out of your skincare is to not hoard your skincare. So this is a mistake that I have personally been making. So I know from personal experience that this is just money down the drain. Specifically, the example for me is purchasing and hoarding multiples of Drunk Elephant's C Ferment Day Serum. This is 15% L-ascorbic acid, so it's a vitamin C serum. And this tip is true most for things that have vitamin C in it, because vitamin C is particularly prone to degrading. So as soon as you purchase it, even if it's in something airtight, it's not going to stay preserved the way other skincare ingredients might. So what happened is that I had 2 backup bottles of this, and once I started using them, both of them had turned a dark orange color. Now it's normal for products like this and many vitamin C products to have a lighter, clearer orange tint to them. But once they start to go towards a dark orange color, that means that the vitamin C has pretty much gone bad. So at best, it's not going to really be effective as a vitamin C product. At worst, it could potentially irritate your skin. And of course, I kind of knew this, but in the back of my head, I thought I just need to use this. I'm not gonna just throw it away. It's really expensive. So I did, and I am fairly confident that this is what contributed to me having skin irritation, having some skin peeling, because I would rotate it out and that peeling would go away, and then once I rotated it back in, it would come back. There is another skincare item that might be a contributing culprit too, but I'm pretty sure that it was the old vitamin C serum. This product otherwise, when it is fresh and when you're buying it appropriately, is fantastic. But because I was getting greedy and I wanted to, I'm pretty sure I purchased them during the Sephora VIB sale, maybe last year. And I thought, oh, I'm just gonna stock up on these because I can get some, some money off of it. But for this kind of product, that doesn't work. So in particular, for products that have vitamin C in them, I would encourage you to not hoard them. The same can be true for sunscreen ingredients. They also can degrade. It really helps, of course, if they come in airtight packaging, like a pump dispenser, or at the very least opaque packaging like this. But even then, you don't want to go way past an expiration date. I'm not one who believes in strict compliance to expiration dates because I think they're fairly arbitrary. So if something says that it expired December 2019, I feel completely comfortable using it currently, even though it's mid-2020. But once you get a year past the expiration date or further, then you got to start thinking about what money choices you're making at that point. But above all else, do not do that with vitamin C serums. They go bad after, 60 to 90 days. So you're I just threw my money out the window with 2 bottles of this, which is a pretty penny for this particular product. All right, those were my top 5 tips to help you maximize your skincare and avoid wasting money on any sort of skincare product. I hope that you found this video helpful and fun. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.